Have you ever seen flip phones in anime and thought, damn, I'm like one of those? Because I certainly did, and this is why we're here today. This is a Japanese Android flip phone. It's pretty cool. I'm going to show you some of the unique features of it. Let's get into it. So this is... I'll show you the outside first. However you pronounce this name here, Gratiana, maybe, I don't know how you say it. KYF37, and it is what I believe it's to be locked to AU. This is like a Japanese phone company that seems to be really big in Japan. So we're going to close it. And we're going to have a look at the outside first. So you see on the back, we have a camera, an IR sensor, and a flash. It's not a great camera. This down here is actually the company who made it. It may be NFC or something, I'm not sure, but we'll get more into that in a bit. And look at this for a modern-ish phone. We also have micro USB on there. We have a side button, and we also have, I think this is a phone charm holder. And we have these weird little copper pins on each side, which I presume is for a cradle. And if we open the back, look at that, removable battery. As you can see there, this phone is a 2018. You can also put a micro SD card in, which we have, and you can also put a nano SIM in. It has a 1500 milliamp hour battery. You can see it's got kind of like a blue, shiny like shimmer to the paint. You can use my fingerprints from this. But yeah, we open it up. This is the inside of the phone. It's pretty cool. So we just turn it on. There is our home screen. This is the Wi-Fi now. This phone does connect to the Wi-Fi. Sounds weird, but I grew up in an age where some phones did not connect to the Wi-Fi. But one thing I wanted to show first before we get into the software of the phone is this front screen here. How cool is this? So on the side, there's a button just here. And if we press that, it shows our clock. Press it again, it shows like battery, Wi-Fi, and that will be self-service, but we don't have that on. And if we skip to the end, it's also got a pedometer on it, which is rather unique. A lot of phones can do it, but not many incorporate it onto the front screen of the phone. So let's get into the software. So this is default roughly what you get. I've changed the wallpaper, I've changed the clock, and I've also added this flashlight icon to the front screen. These apps come built in. It's just some weather, some news. I believe that's like Japanese train timetables and a pedometer. So here on our keypad, we have some different buttons. Here's some like messaging and contact book. This is a quick button for the camera, the web browser, and obviously we have our number buttons. And it's pretty good if you're an English user because it does have an English language setting built in. Even though there is still some Japanese in here, it's not a full English experience. But down here you're going to see some F keys, and these F keys can be used. We press here, show you these are actually custom keys, and you can change these to make like custom applications open up. So we go back to our home screen, and in here this is where we have some of our functions. So from what I understand, Japan actually has a lot of like stuff built around like passes and cards and payment systems. That's what a lot of applications on here are. If we open up some of these, some of them don't actually work anymore because unfortunately support for this device, I believe, was cut off on the 3rd of March. A lot of things are built into the browser. If we click this security one, this was kind of a weird one. It's like, obviously Japan has like earthquakes, I think, sometimes, and maybe like tsunamis, but there's all sorts of like detection stuff. Weirdly, one of these is an antivirus thing, which I don't understand, and you'll understand why in a bit. Here's the AU wallet. A lot of this you can't use just due to me not having an AU ID and some of the functionality being discontinued. Even though this phone was built in 2018, that does only make it 5 years old, which I think is a bit bad. But I don't think these were the most expensive phones in the world when they were made. So we have our web browser. We also have our data folder, which is just pictures and like typical file explorer on Android phone. We have our camera, which is weirdly built into the back there. It's not really where you'd hold the phone. You'd expect the camera to be probably more up here. But yeah, we have a camera. It's got some basic functions. See, we're not really looking at much here. It's just like the wood on this unit. But we have a basic camera. It says it does up to maybe 5 or 8 megapixels, but that doesn't mean much if your camera quality is not good. We have our app service. Now, there's quite a few apps built into this. We have here Lismo, this is music. We have another music app. We have this like wallet app. We have another music app. We have Walmart. I'm going to put some footage on screen of what the actual Malmo website looks like. This is kind of like some sort of shopping platform that I believe AU actually owns. So it's kind of cool. This app doesn't really work anymore. It's not really supported. This seems to be a navigation software. This one here is more navigation software, but it's like apps. And that notification if you're wondering, just saying something that it won't properly work without an AU account. But we can kind of see here, this is kind of what they were going for. This is Tokyo, I believe. You can kind of see what they were going for here with this software, and it will leave. But you can also do train times as well as like destinations, and there's some other little bits and bobs in there. I believe this one is an auction thing for mobile only, which I thought was rather interesting. Another music app, Eddie, I believe, is by Rakuten, and it's another like card type of wallet service. They seem to be really advanced in Japan with like mobile payments and stuff, and this phone has a lot of those apps that use mobile payments. This is a TV app. This one wants to display. There is a TV app on here. We'll back out of this. That's just for display. This seems to be like a Wi-Fi service that the company sets up. Obviously, it's not going to work over here in the UK, but it'll probably work in Japan. I forget what this one is. It's probably somewhat wallet related or auction related or something like that. And we also have our weather app. We also have our tools section, which has, you know, normal stuff. And then this one here, once again, is another payment related service. I believe Sony developed this one when I researched it a bit. Infrared for sending stuff, or I guess if you click on it, you see there you can send receive files. I don't know why you wouldn't use Bluetooth, especially when this was created. There's kanji check, and the TV. Now this is a cool thing. It's not going to work over here. It's going to search, and we get our channel list. Kind of get an idea of the type of channels that they can watch over there on your phone. I believe this still works in Japan, and there's a lot of phones out there that have this like pre-built in, and you can just watch TV on the go, which I think is pretty cool. You can't do that anymore in the UK because they've turned off those type of channels. It's now Freeview, which is more of like a digital signal, I believe. But yeah, that's kind of cool if you're in Japan. So some of the other tools here is kanji check. There's the flashlight as I mentioned before, a sound recorder, a barcode reader. This one's pretty interesting. You can scan barcodes of things in, and then you can like search the web. So if I like scan this PS2 game in, where's the camera on the camera? And it should come on there. And we can like copy web search, so we can actually web search the data. You can see the camera. As you can see there's what we searched. I suppose that's kind of cool if you want to go into a shop and maybe search to see if you're getting a decent price on something. But you can already do that with like Amazon and eBay anyways. But it's kind of a cool feature. There's an eco mode. There's also some auto assist. Line is a bit like WhatsApp. I've used it before, but unfortunately on this one, there is no longer support, as you can see here. The next one's just about phone and text. It's not really that important, but there you can see it. And we have our profile, which we haven't wrote anything in. But if we go to our settings, I'll show you some of the other stuff you can do. Of course, we can change our wallpaper. There's even live wallpapers on this phone. I'll show you the version of Android that we're running here. As you can see here, there's the model number of the phone. We're running a Qualcomm processor. That's the processor number there. I'm actually running Android 5.1.1. Now, one of the annoying things about this is I haven't actually managed to load any extra apps onto this, and I believe this phone has a version of the operating system that is locked down not to install anything that isn't a part of the app service. And the app service is, unfortunately, if we go to our free section and we load it up on the web browser, it's no longer supported. And support actually dropped off for it pretty recently. When this loads, I'll be able to show you. See, if we come down to this bit here, where it says the AU market, this should show you all the apps and stuff that are pre-installed. But as you can see here, about where it says 2023, I see 3 and then 7. That means that it lost, roughly translates to that a lot of the service cut out on the 7th of March. It's currently the 19th of March if recording this on 2023, and some stuff was going to cut out before that. That's kind of disappointing. That's why there's not many apps, and the only apps that you can see are related to the AU phone company and not really worth looking at, as we don't have the account nor speak Japanese. And you can't sideload your own apps through the phone. I wanted to try and get a version of YouTube loaded on this, but every time it just says cannot play. And of course there's no Google Play Store, so our only thing was to try and download an APK that would not work. You can still watch videos on this, however, can watch videos on YouTube. I'll show you that now. For anyone wondering, this is how you have to type it in on this phone. It's the old, we call it 10 key, where it's a little bit finicky, especially when now we're used to touchscreens. But now we've searched for YouTube, we have a couple of ways we can search. If we just press the down button here, you can see like we get an orange box going around our search results. And if we hold down F3, we get the pointer on, and we can use the pointer like a mouse click, and there we are. So this is the YouTube experience. I've turned the audio off because I'm playing some copyrighted material, and if we click on it, what we can do is we can actually make it full screen, and with the full screen we can click rotate down here. It's going to rotate and you can watch the video just like that. I think that is pretty cool. I don't think it's very practical, you know, compared to just like holding it like that maybe, but it's something you can certainly do on this phone if you really wish. And once again we can click rotate and we can just go back to normal. But yeah, that's one of the things you can do with the YouTube app. Well, it's not an app, it's the YouTube web browser on this phone. It's not really practical. I think what we may try and do with this phone eventually is maybe like root it or something and put another version of Android 5 on here. Something that isn't as locked down as the AU version, and see what other apps we can run, because I've seen some other places in the world use these phones and they've got like proper versions of Android running on that aren't so restricted. But what do you guys think of the Japanese Android flip phone? I thought it was pretty cool. I don't think I'd use it day to day. I think this was a cool, interesting device. I'd like to maybe see more of the modern version, or maybe we'll have a look at some other cool obscure tech in the future. Let me know what you think, guys. I'll see you next time.